Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I think I made my point. I rested my case on so many occasions regarding the electronic voting system in the United States of America. We have a judge here who doesn't want the votes to be counted by hand. I wonder why. Well, let me show you this article and then we're going to discuss. My issue with this is the following. I want to find out what happens in such an important event, which we're told are the elections. I want them to be as transparent as possible. I want them to be as fair as possible. But I want them to be truthful. All right, let's start with the article first. This comes from Associated Press. It is from today, October 16th, 2024. Georgia judge blocks ballot counting rule and says county officials must certify election results. So blocks ballot counting. This is the guy. So his name is what? And Fulton County Superior Court Judge Robert McBurney looks through paperwork. Okay, a judge has blocked a new rule that requires Georgia Election Day ballots to be counted by hand after the close of voting. The ruling came a day after the same judge ruled that county election officials must certify election results by the deadline set in law. The ruling are victories for Democrats, liberal voting rights groups, and some legal experts who have raised concerns that Donald Trump's allies could refuse to certify the results if the former president loses the Democratic Vice President Kamala Harris in the next month's presidential election. They have also argued that the new rules enacted by the Trump-endorsed majority on the state election board could be used to stop or delay, I don't give a shit about the delay, let's make it right, certification and to undermine public confidence in the results. But how do you undermine public confidence? If you keep it secret, if you keep it far away from the public eye. That's the main way of undermining public confidence. It's not like someone goes in a room, counts the votes, and tells us this is the result. I want to be able to verify that. What's your evidence? Oh, it's you and your mommy? These are the persons who counted the votes? I don't trust that. I want some representatives from other organizations. I will explain how I would make it. So the state election board last month passed a rule requiring the 3 poll workers each count the paper ballots, not votes, by hand after the polls closed. The county election board in Atlanta's suburbs had filed a lawsuit seeking to have a judge declare the rule and 5 other recently passed by the state board invalid, saying they exceed the state board's authority, weren't adopted in compliance with the law, and are unreasonable. In a ruling late Tuesday, this guy, the Judge Robert McBurney, wrote that the hand count rule is too much too late. It's never too late. I want to find out what happened. Later than never. And blocked its enforcement while he considers the merits of the case. All right. Where am I? Right here. That's what I read. So, this is what I see an election. We are told day and night that democracy is the most precious thing that we have. I disagree with that. I think freedom of speech is the most, or life in general, but life has value. A life lived with no value doesn't, or a life lived not good, it's not a, it's a waste. Put it this way. So life is all we have. Time, it's all we have. That's all we have. Really, we have time. And from time, every day it goes smaller. Now that time could be, could be used for good things or for bad things. It's up to each of us to determine that. And then from there you want to see, okay, if it's good things based on what? On your values, on your preferences, on your, habits, whatever you have. Right? In this case, we are told that democracy, we have to defend democracy. Well, democracy is there only if there's freedom of speech. That is, if I can say what I want or what I see without being afraid of repercussions. I mean, we eliminate the illegal speech, which is, the one that you incite to violence, the certain kind of, and other things. Right? Like instigating to violence, as I said, and threats. Those are illegal, I understand that. But hate speech, that's, you can hate how much you want, unless you act. And when you act, see if your actions are illegal or not, according to the law. That's all. So, without freedom of speech, there's no democracy. If you're afraid to say things, you're afraid to publish, or you don't have access to information because your freedom of information, of speech of others is infringed or limited, then you don't have a democracy, because you're going to vote without being able to form an opinion how much you want to form. I want to listen to, I don't know, Russia Today. I want to listen. I should be allowed as a free person. If I want to listen to BBC, I should be allowed. I should be allowed to listen to whomever I want, even if they lie to me. It's up to me. It's up to me as a free person to figure out who's lying and who's not. Not someone else, another human being, like a master of the slave, telling the slave what the slave should understand out of this, or protects the slave from the outside world. I don't want that. You want that? All right, I don't think you want that since you're here. So that's one of the things. In order to have a vote, right? Voting is more important than boarding a plane, isn't it? Well, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. We're told, well, it's more important than drinking a beer. Well, if I go to a polling, how do you call it? Post, you don't call it that way. I can't remember. Where you vote, whatever, voting, I can't even find the other word. God damn it. Anyway, you go to vote, right? You need an ID. You need an ID. You don't have an ID, how in the hell you participate in this society? How can I figure out it's you? I need to know that in the name of being fair and right and truthful, you have to provide an ID. I have to figure out who you are. Otherwise, I can vote in 5 precincts, 50,000 times. Or you think people don't do that? So, first requirement, I have to provide an ID to identify myself as this. And since democracy is so important, then I think you should do that. You want to prevent people from cheating. I mean, it's a serious business here, right? Now, when I go to a bar, I provide an ID, unless, or if I buy alcohol at a store, I provide an ID. I personally should not be required to do that. If the police thinks that I am, then they can investigate me if I committed a crime. But these guys prevent the crime. So if I go over there to a bar, right, and let's say I'm 23 and I look, 16, these guys will ID me. Why? Because of a beer, 5% alcohol, 330 milliliters, or whatever that might be. Really? But I don't need an ID to go and vote for the most important things that we're told, the democracy. These guys are not serious about. Then we go and vote by electronic vote, right? What is that? You go over there, you put some lines, you go and put 2 lines together over there, and you put it in the machine, and the machine, being very honest, and it was not programmed to do anything but being truthful by good people over there, will count your vote the way it's supposed to. And then all the information it gets, sends it to a head office, and from the head office, it sends it to someone else. All this in the name of freedom, democracy, and perfection. I do not believe in that. I don't trust that whatsoever. Why? How can I verify it? It's going to be some numbers. I want to be like this. I want to go over there in the voting booth, your ID, right? Then you go over there, you are given the ballot, you do whatever you need to do, you sign, right? And you stamp it, right? And you go, you give it back and you leave. That should stay that forever. Now the counting of the vote is going to be a commission. The commission, you can invite who the hell ever you want, whatever side. It's impossible, Emil, to have 50 million people over there all of a sudden. But I want these guys on the left, I want these guys on the right, I want some, how do you call those guys, observers, like you have in, in Venezuela. Like we have in bad countries that we tell them that they are not transparent, but we are with the machines. You are transparent. And then that vote must be counted with cameras All these registered. Do you think they don't have the ability to do that? They are listening to the phones, to the emails. They get all this information, send it nicely to those little beautiful places in what? Texas? Thank you very much. Or it was New Mexico. Both of them. But they can't do this once every 4 years. They can't do this. They have every ability, manpower, technology, everything. And they video and they have it. And then we really know who won. But no, this guy says, no, not going to vote by hand. No. But, and then how do you call it? The liberal, no, it's unreasonable. I don't care if it's reasonable or not. I want it to be honest, to be, how do you call it? Truthful. That's all I care. I remember in 2000, a long time ago, when there was that imbecilic election between two imbeciles, one being George W. Bush, and the other one telling us that in 10 years the water is going to go and get us all fucked up. Remember the guy? Al Gore? Okay. Remember what happened in Florida? A judge stopped the counting of the votes. Same reason. It's too late. People will not trust the system. The system works. You know what? If you're going to charge someone, convict someone today, and you send him to prison, or let's say lethal injection or whatever, and then you say, well, it's too late to, it has 2 months. In 2 months, it's going to be too late to look to new evidence. That person could be innocent, and you just, that person. I don't care about too late. Do it. And they can do it, and they can do it. So I told you many times about the electronic voting thing. I disagree with that. Totally. I want it on paper. I want it stored. It can be counted every day. You count it today, you count it in next year, next 5 years, next 100 years. All those will be stored, I don't want to say it will be photocopied because, photocopy, you lose this little folder here. It's gone, hidden from the public eye. I want that. If we are so concerned about this most important thing, this valuable thing that we have in a society, democracy, somehow, well, you don't have to show up with an ID. What the fuck is that? We're going to put that paper in an electronic machine that is going to do what it was programmed to do, which is everything perfect. Really? I mean, how imbecile can you be to think that, that goes to right there, it's going to be registered like all fair. I'm going to go to that and then this is the result. I know, state of Michigan voted 49, 51 for this exactly. I'm going to tell you the number. Really? I mean, Jesus Christ. And we, being told that it's so important, we don't care. Can you verify? Do you understand? Do you understand that you leave yourself to be told by other human beings what are the results without having any neutral part being present, being, maybe it's not. That's why when I hear these guys, North Korea, they didn't even have vote, Venezuela or Russia are rigged, or what? And these guys, they come straight forward and tell you. Now, I don't care if this was counting the ballots or counting the votes, or anything. I want each and them being counted. Each. You say it takes so long? Well, then you don't need to count it. You just stay home, and I tell you who won. If you're disinterested, then you deserve it. You deserve it. Remember those guys who you have to be vigilant? Continuous vigilance. You can't just let things go. You deal with human beings, with interests, with money, lots of money, power. Are you telling me that these guys are going to be, okay, man, here it is, pile of fire, whatever it was in the, and they're going to come more and more and more. It's like, if you attack or you say, well, I disagree with this kind of system, with the electronic system, it's like you attack, I don't know, someone's terminal ill child or something, or God or something like, oh my God, you're a denier. I have the right to say I don't believe in those things because I know better. I've seen better. I've seen how these things, not the polling machines, not those. I've seen electronic manipulation 100%. 100% on lower stakes than elections. And why do you think these guys spend billions of dollars to get elected? And Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.